Noisy neighbours. This is what Sir Alex Ferguson started referring to Manchester City as they gradually became actual rivals instead of just two teams sharing a city. Well, football moves so fast that some people will think Manchester City have always been noisy neighbours. The olders here will let you know that's far from the truth. The noisy neighbours used to be so quiet you wouldn't be blamed for thinking Manchester United had the whole street to themselves. Anyway, this isn't about United. Today, we look at how this sad team became the giant they are now. What's up everybody, it's Raf, and the blue side of Manchester has largely been a club that struggled and even got used to disappointment, to the point they even prepared for it. From the first Premier League season in '92, City were holding on to dear life to avoid relegation for 4 seasons. But their impending relegation into Division 1 happened in the '96 season. From then, things quickly started to look better for the club. That's a lie. After 2 seasons in Division 1, they tumbled to the 3rd tier of English football. Yeah, I know. This is a surprise to their present bandwagon fans. You didn't suffer through this shit like the real day ones. And through those dark years, the club and its fan base peeked over the fence as their neighbours continued to enjoy glory after glory domestically and in Europe. As they grew ragingly jealous of the better half in the city, they chased every desperate hope of changing their luck. So in 2007, the club's board accepted a bid from Thaksin Shinawatra, a billionaire who sold the dreams of building an all-conquering team. Smelling of desperation, they allowed him control even after being under investigation for corruption and having over £500 million of his assets frozen by Thailand's military government. Well, it paid off. After a decent start to the season with Sven, City finished 9th and had their highest ever Premier League points total with a double victory over rivals Manchester United. Then City did what City did best, fucked things up. The former England manager was sacked at the end of the season. The following season, City were on the brink of financial meltdown with their owner continuing to be in deep shit with his country. Their new manager Mark Hughes threatened to resign unless the financial problems were sorted. Oh, I forgot to mention the board tried to sell 2 of their best players, Stephen Ireland and veteran Luka, behind his back. And for it to be that bad, the only way was up. And they did go up. They hit the jackpot. The club was bought by an Abu Dhabi consortium who had a combined net worth of at least $1 trillion. Trillion! And finally, their fortunes started to change. The takeover was immediately followed by a flurry of bids for high-profile players. The club broke the British transfer record by signing Brazilian international Robinho from Real Madrid for $32.5 million. During the summer of 2009, the club took transfer spending to a whole new level, splashing over $100 million on players like Gareth Barry, Santa Cruz, Kolo Touré, Manuel Adebayor, Carlos Tevez and Joleon Lescott. A real change in levels. This was a typical starting 11 for Man City in 2007. Players like Richard Dunn was anchoring the defense with the world-beater Nedum Inua, whilst their forward lineups consisted of Benjani and Darius Vassell. Don't get it twisted, some of these players held their own back in them days. The likes of Joe Hart and Stephen Ireland were of high pedigree in my opinion, but it was nothing like the 2009 players that were brought in to change the fortunes of that club. And they started to do just that, finishing 5th with just 3 points from the 4th spot that season, being the founding fathers of the City we know now. They cracked into the top 4 the following season, finishing 3rd comfortably whilst winning their first major trophy for what seems like centuries, with an FA Cup win over Stoke City. Then, they really announced themselves to the big stage with the greatest title race in the history of the league, scoring in the final minutes of extra time to snatch the title from none other than... From that, they have literally been in turbo mode, dominating the league with 6 titles out of 11 and filling up their trophy cabinet with 10 other domestic cups. As of today, the owners of Manchester City have spent an estimated $2 billion on nearly 300 players since completing the takeover of the club. But the only thing that $2 billion hasn't been able to buy is the Champions League, which is slowly becoming an obsession for the club and owners. But that's a video for another day. That's it folks, see you next week to continue this money series. Which club do you think is next? Peace!